I know, you don't care about backing up anymore because you can reset Windows so easy and all your documents are up in the cloud and your apps, you've got the media to install the apps. I know, backup, who cares? Let's run through some traditional backup options though in this nugget. Okay, so we're going to start by going real old school here. We go into Control Panel, and if we are in the large icon view, notice we see Backup and Restore, and this is an old Windows 7 carryover. That's so funny that they put that to me. So let's go in and change the settings of this nice backup and restore functionality built into Windows. Notice you must provide an external disk, or I suppose it could be another internal disk. It just cannot be the Windows partition that you do your backup to. So I've given this little thumb drive, and I'm going to come in here and say change my settings. Now, if I choose the thumb drive, it says, whoa, this is too small to do a system image. So that's fine. I'm not interested in creating an entire backup of my system image. I just want to back up some data real quick. So we'll choose next. It wants to guide us into saving what's in our Windows folders and then setting this up on a regular schedule. We'll go ahead and choose ourselves exactly what we want to back up. I don't want to back up any of my library stuff or anything like that. I've just got this stuff folder right here I'm interested in backing up. So we can choose what we want to save and back up and then choose next. Notice if this was a system image, you can choose to include the Windows recovery environment on that system image. That's pretty cool. So we could boot to that and restore the system image. I'll choose next though for our simple backup of stuff, and we'll save our settings and exit. Now, this is not scheduled. Notice we can turn on a schedule, and this would allow us to schedule this backup to occur on regular intervals. Notice the default here is going to be every Sunday at 7 p.m. We can change that, of course, by coming in and manipulating the settings of the backup. So, okay, it's going to be my stuff that gets backed up. And then look, now we have this change schedule option. I won't do this on a schedule. And by the way, when you do it on a schedule, you're actually manipulating the task scheduler. And we're going to have a nugget coming up on that powerful task scheduler. So that'll really, really impress you seeing how you can manipulate whatever is scheduled on your Windows 10 system. All right, so we're not doing it on a schedule. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to click backup now that we've got the settings in place, and the backup is going to progress. Now, it's just no fun doing a backup without trying a restore. In fact, it's very important, obviously, to make sure restore functionality works no matter what backup application you're using. So I'm going to go into our stuff folder and I'm going to destroy the stuff that we backed up. We obviously need to do a restore. So we're going to go back into backup and restore, and we're going to choose restore my files. It'll say, okay, where is your backup? And it'll take you right to the thumb drive and to the backup of C. Awesome. So I'll add this folder and I'll say next, and I'll say, go ahead and put the stuff back in the original location, please. And it says, great, your files have been restored. Boy, I hope that worked. Let's check it out. And look at that. Our stuff is back in the stuff folder. I'm sure you're wondering, is there a command prompt ability to do quick backups like we just did in the GUI? And there is. There is the long-standing WB admin command line tool that you can use to do simple backups. Now, there is yet another backup method that you could use, and that's file history. Here we are in Windows settings, and we go to Update and Security, and notice there's this backup area. Sure enough, this would take us to that older backup that we looked at, but we can back up using the file history feature. I'm going to add a drive so this feature can function. The drive that we'll choose is that thumb drive we've been picking on today. So we'll add that. Notice, all right, the feature's turned on. We're going to automatically back up files. But wait a minute here. What files are we backing up? How frequently are we doing that? Obviously, we need to go to more options. When you go into more options, you see, okay, there's nothing backed up right now, and we're going to be going to that temp thumb drive, and we're going to back up files every hour by default and keep them forever, and then look at all these folders it decided would be a good idea to back up. To control this, you could go click on the folder and remove it. In our case, we have another folder that we want to add. How would you do that? No problem. You would actually, at the top of the list, you would choose add a folder to that you're backing up, and we would choose that stuff folder. Great, so we should see that now in the list of things that are flagged for backup. Now, if you scroll down, notice we can exclude folders with this feature. Great. And we could also stop using this drive and use a different drive. If you want to see the advanced settings, you'll be taken to File History inside of Control Panel, and basically you have the same set of options that we just saw inside of Control Panel. So now, how would you get back to a previous version of a file that you've done this file history with? Well, that's done through the File Explorer, of course. And notice one of the options you would have is right-clicking and saying Restore Previous Versions. All this is doing is bringing you to the Previous Versions tab of the Properties window. And you're going to see all of your versions in here. You can select the one you want to restore easily from this interface. And before I start filling my thumb drive with useless stuff that I don't need to back up because I've got it in the cloud, I'm going to come in here and turn this file history feature off. So in this nugget, we took a look at three main components, didn't we? We have the old backup and restore from Windows 7 days, still available for us in the graphical user interface. We have the WB admin tool at the command line for quick backups. And finally, there's file history features that can be enabled inside of Windows 10. I hope you found this nugget informative, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.